Dennis Richard from Bonet, Illinois, and he's run our Mohawk chicken or our Mohawk closing wheels for about 3 years. And then you've run our rebounders for how long?
3 years.
3 years, okay. And I'd like to have you talk just a little bit about them. What do you think of them, or what's your?
Well, you know, like anything else, you want to try something and you think it's going to work, you know.
Yeah.
So I put them on my planner anyway, and you know, I just got the little first, but I tell you, I really like the way it crumbled the ground in the back and left it loose on top. It didn't seem to have the compaction behind there. And then the rebounders, of course, when you did dig your kernels up, your kernels were right there at the bottom of the trench. I mean, they weren't spread all over.
Yeah.
I just like consistency of it.
Did mud build up on your rebounders?
I didn't have any problems.
Okay. Yeah. Normally we don't.
Okay. Yeah.
And a lot of guys will say, because we run about 3/8 of an inch off the bottom of the furrow, we never drag seeds in the furrow and budge them up. And that's really important.
Right, it is, yeah.
And getting a uniform emergence by putting all your seeds in the bottom of that furrow, you get more of a uniform emergence.
Right,
so
right.
Yeah.
I like them real well. I was skeptical at first because I didn't know exactly the angle. Yeah, that angle there. It didn't look like it wasn't going to work.
Yeah.
But it did.
Yeah.
It worked nice, yeah.
And easy to put on.
Yeah.
How easy?
To put on. Oh, well, your instructions were great. So.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, they worked out real well.
And you could pull your seed tube up and out, strap it on, and go back in with it.
Yeah.
You didn't have to take disc blades and
No,
gauge wheels off.
no,
That's,
not at all.
You know, you're not working under the planter, you're working up above.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Right, yeah. I was real pleased with these.
How's your wear on these? Are they on your
I've had them
Mohawks?
for 3 years now. I can't really see any wear.
Yeah.
Very little wear.
We've got one here that the guy did about 3,000 acres with this wheel, and it's hardly worn if you compare it. And my son did right at 9,000 acres with his, and he was going to trade his planter off, and so he said, should I keep the old ones? I said, well, put a new set on it. And so the farmer wanted these on his, and so he put them on. So.
Yeah, well, I really like them.
Well, great.
I really like them.
We really appreciate your business, and thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Yep, thanks.
Thank you.
What's your name, sir?
My name's Dave Nichols. I'm from Polk, Ohio.
Okay. And you've been running our Mohawks for, what, last year you run them?
Yes, last year I bought a set of the Mohawk rings. I have an older Kinsey planter, and was looking at some of the studies about these pipe closing wheels doing a much better job in the heavier soils. And so I bought a set, and just to one side of the planter, and was really impressed with the results. The germination was almost perfect last year. To just stitch that ground together on top of that seed is really nice. I mean, I probably had the best stand I ever had last year. So I'm here to buy 6 more for finish off the planter. I'm going to put them on both sides, try to get even better job.
Great. Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. You like about the Mohawks?
Joe, would you give your name and where you're from, please?
Joe Bischoff. I farm here in Jefferson County. It's Mahone County, where I was born and raised, and I farm in 3 adjoining counties. And we have a lot of different soil types. And so we were looking for a wheel beyond the cast iron closing wheel and the rubber closing wheel. We tried a lot of different wheels. And number one, I'm cost conscious, and so I'm trying to keep the cost down. And not only that, when you buy a full set of wheels, it's a lot of money. If it doesn't work, you've got problems. And so we were thinking about that in the process also. So we tried, we were able to get different companies to give us a pair of wheels to try. And what we found with these is that they do have gauging here. You can. Where some of the other wheels didn't. And so we had some other wheels. They seemed like they worked pretty well. And then as the soils dried out, we weren't too wet to plant anyway, because I'm not going to plant when it's wet.
I know we do.
But there's a situation in no-till where you're a little tacky, where you're going to a small area in the field, you can't leave seed open. and you need to crumble that saddle. That's the whole idea. We've been trained, and all the agronomic guys have told us to make sure to take care of that. So what we end up doing is putting these different wheels on. And matter of fact, we had a whole set of another manufacturer's wheels on and had them on for 2 days on 2 planters. And when it got a little towards dry, we were worried about it drying out down to the seed level. So then we used, I think you'd given us a couple of 3-year-olds, maybe 4-year-olds, Steve, I don't know, but we like these the best because they do have gauging, and we don't have to take them off. We use them in all of our soils, and if you run into a wet spot, we found out that they do fill in a little bit here. There might be a little bit of residue or whatever hanging, but never enough to stop the wheel or cause the wheel to drag. So that's important, because you're on the planter, you're not going to know that till you turn behind the grobber. So with all being everything that I can tell you, for our soils, this seemed to be the best fit.
Great. Great. I appreciate you talking about that. And did you buy the whole wheel, or did you just buy the rings? I think.
Oh, I believe I believe we just bought the rings because it cut down on cost.
Yeah.
And I'm certain that's what we did.
Yeah. And did we send you a row or two of the zippers?
Yes, you have. Back on that planter. We got a set of the zipper wheels that I put on for a little while, and I don't have it. I can't tell you what I think about those yet. I'm going to go into this spring and put those on the planter. I'm going to be running so I can watch those more closely and let you know what I feel about them. But right now we feel these are good. Looks like these could be better in some conditions.
Okay.
I know that they have the heavier.
Yeah, it's got a metal rim.
And this is probably going to be better.
Yeah.
Because you got the weight, less down pressure.
You know, that's true, because it's more like the cast iron wheels, only it still churns the soil.
And the other thing is too, the reason why I think this is probably going to be better is that you're going to have less down pressure.
Yeah. Yep.
They're heavier, and when you have more down pressure, you're lifting up on the unit.
Yep.
So I think that's going to alleviate some of the problems.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Joe. Okay. I've got Tyler Perkins here from Bernie, Missouri. Going to talk a little bit about rebounders, and he does a lot of attachments for planters and things. And you're with Perkins Sales and you sell a lot of rebounders and stuff.
A lot of rebounders.
And can you give us some reasons why?
Well, the rebounder, we really like it in our cotton country because we have a lot of people that are on RTK, and they're coming back on the old cotton stock, no-till, and you have a lot of flippage, and you see more flippage with some of the other brands of seed firmers. We've got that spoon type on the Keaton seed, or on the Schaffert, the rebounder, and it directs that seed back into their seed trench, whereas the Keaton, a lot of times they'll slip around it. We see that a lot, and also there's more of a film of dirt that the seed firmer is using, and just kind of pressing a little bit along the top of that, so we don't see it scatter a seed, because it's less direct contact with the seed with a shallower setting. Now we do set it at a little bit shallower setting than what you would for corn, but we're trying to get a 2-hill drop in a lot of the conditions that we have. That's 2 seed per drop, and if you have...
I'm back with Perkins Sales, Tyler Perkins from Bernie, Missouri, and he's going to talk a little bit about, he sells our Mohawk wheels and our zipper wheels. Would you talk a little bit about them, what you see in cotton and stuff like that, please?
Well, first of all, we really, really like the zipper in the cotton more than the Mohawk. The Mohawk will go into the corn more so, but in the cotton, we really like the zippers. And when we're using the G2 system, we really like it because we're able to side apply just 32% material with that, and we can put any kind of insecticide with that, because the cotton's real bad about killing the germ if you're using a harsher fertilizer than just a neutral.
The neutral pH and stuff. Go ahead.
Okay. First of all, in cotton country, we really like the zipper a little better than what we do on the Mohawk. The Mohawk's better in the corn country. It'll push it on the ground, but in that shallow plant, we plant so shallow in the cotton that we like the zipper better. And also when we're doing the G2s, we like going in with the inject kit, and we'll put an orifice in the back of this. We usually oversize that orifice, and then we'll use an orifice on up line, an inline orifice.
The right size.
The correct size for the fluid that we're flowing. We'll just put an oversized back here to make it inject, to shoot a straight stream down instead of just letting it flow out. That way it'll shoot right in our stream, the notch that we're cutting with the G2. And when we're doing that in cotton, we use a lot of 32% tube per tube, because of course it's cheaper, 318-18, and we're able to use a higher pH product instead of the low pH stuff or neutral pHs that have to go right in the furrow. Cotton's real bad about the germ. Will be killed real easy on harsher fertilizers. And we'll throw an insecticide with that, and that also ups our chances in colder weather of killing the germ in the cotton. So that really works well with us. And we still have a lot of guys that'll run the rebounders with the Y knot on there, and we'll even have a Y up above, so you can flip back and forth from one product to the other if you've got issues there.
Okay, the reason why you use the larger orifice down here so it doesn't splash on the wheels and stuff.
We found that using an oversized orifice down here and not use it for actually our amount that we're putting out is that it'll just make a straight stream shoot straight down the road. With this bent tube right here, it's shooting right down into the slit that we've made, and then we'll orifice on up line with a T-jet type orifice, and we put a check valve system on up line, an inline check. Just pop that apart. It's usually up there on the parallel link, so it's easy to get to. The guys don't have to crawl around, and then just use go up 2-3 sizes over what we really need down here, just to bring that stream down to a smaller size.
Come over and let's talk about the zippers a little bit.
Yeah, the zippers.
We've got those here.
Right, the zippers, we really like those in our country. They seem to cheer up the side of those beds real well. It's very economical for somebody to go with. As far as in shallow planted or in corn, and we've got guys that can roll right into conventional. It doesn't have to be just a no-till situation. They'll work in all those areas. They don't have to jump back and forth from one wheel to the other. And you do not have to run a chain behind these like a lot of the other product lines that we've got, that we sell. And like I say, we handle all the major brands, but it seems like this one right here can go a lot of different places, and it's a lot more carefree. It's not much of an issue there on where it's going to. It does go ahead and do the job, breaks that sidewall compaction, and you are getting a firming action. It's almost like taking your fingers and going right down to the top of that rope and pushing in, but they're still segmented, so when that dries, it's still able to pop and loosen itself up and come out of the ground.
Okay, thank you, Tyler. I'm talking here at the National Farm Machinery Show to Jesse Hobbs from Alabama. And how long ago has it been when you bought your first rebounders?
I guess we've been running Mr. Schaffert's rebounder now probably 15 years.
Really?
We
okay.
need something to help us enable to get the seed where it goes in the trench versus the bounce effect. And have come to the Louisville Farm Show and met him and enjoyed talking with him and liked his product. And it's what we started out with, a white one. And then we changed up to the orange one, which is a whole lot more for our abrasive soils in North Alabama. We plant cotton, corn, soybeans, and wheat. We use our planters to plant all the crops with wheat, but we've had very good success. And then I've been fortunate in the corn yield contest the past few years, so I started adapting the starter fertilizer program. And had to come to the farm show that next year, and Mr. Schaffert come up with this why not split, and I just adapted it right to my rebounder, and was able to put this pump in place. And like I tell a lot of my neighbors, it's too simple not to work.
So you put a pump system on then?
Pump system on my 16-row planter, and I have one pump per 8 rows, and I can put as much as 10 gallons an acre right in the trench. And I've had very good success. I've been fortunate to make some pretty good yields, and been very satisfied with the product.
Great. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Jesse. No kidding. Okay. Jesse, would you talk a little bit about some of the attachments you put on your planter here in the last few years? Well, we've got the Mohawks there. Do you run those?
Yes. I adapted my planter to run the Mohawks on one side. I still have the conventional rubber tire on one side, but I have the Mohawk on the other side. And the reason I liked it, I could buy the disc and just put it on my original center and take the rubber off and put this piece, or you can buy the whole thing and it's the same bearing it just runs great, and it does a
Great.
good job in all types of soil. We plant a lot of double crop beans late in the summer. The ground gets very hard, and this Mohawk always seems to get good seed soil coverage, and that's what I like about it.
Okay.
Really good success out of it.
Let's talk a little bit about the rebounder. You stated a little bit ago that you started what, about 13, 14 years ago with
I've
the
been running
rebounders,
rebounder
or
probably
15?
15 years.
15
with a
years.
white one.
Okay.
And it's self-explanatory how you put them in place. You know, two zip ties, and it's in place right behind the seed tube. Every time I put a new set of disc openers on a planter, I always try to come back and get a new set of rebounders, because normally as you wear out your disc openers, you wear this to a point, and sometimes I'd rather have it a little bit wider. But anyway, long story short, when I replace my disc openers, I always come and I get a new set of rebounders. And,
Do you always replace the wear guard also?
Yes.
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 That's definite.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I really appreciate it, and thank you for the comments. Okay, go ahead. You.
I'm Bill Fisher from Sturgis, Michigan, and I've got one of these systems, and it's really nice to use. It's easy, and you don't have to worry about it. Set it and go.
Okay. All right. I really appreciate it. What's your name again?
Bill Fischel?
Bill Pischel.
Yeah.
Okay, from where?
Sturgis, Michigan.
Sturgis, Michigan. Okay, thank you. Okay, what's your name? Give me your name and where you're from.
My name's Henry Prey. I'm from Diamonddale, Michigan.
Okay. What do you put on our G2 liquid fertilizer disc? How long ago?
We've been running it for 3 years.
Okay.
Planting corn,
Yeah.
and it's working very good. We have a little trouble with some trash when we're using it to plant beans in 30-inch rows.
Yeah.
You know, there's a little bit of corn cobs, but we don't plant that many of our beans in 30-inch. But we do get out there to help the other bean planter,
Yeah.
and we try some side dressing, some fertilizer for the beans and stuff. But
Are you satisfied with them? Are they working
it's
good for you
doing a good
and
job.
stuff?
It's
Okay.
it's a
All
good
right.
job.
Yep. And is it getting your fertilizer in a slice back there behind the planter?
Yeah, it seems to be working quite well. I was a little worried about that small disc might not getting it in there, but the ground is soft and tilled right back there because we're running on a strip till,
Yeah.
but it does a real good job for us on
Okay.
placing the fertilizer and not too close. And,
Okay.
does a good job for us.
Thank you. We're talking to Dennis Gertzen here at the National Farm Machinery Show in Louisville, Kentucky in February of 2016. Dennis, you run the rebounders?
Yes, we do.
Okay. How long have you run them?
I think we've been running them at least 8 years, I'm guessing.
Okay.
9 years.
All right.
And yeah, we've enjoyed having those things because we know that they do a good job of, bringing the seed right back where it needs to be, and also we do in-furrow fertilizer. We think it's a good way to go as well.
Okay. All right.
And we also just recently started moved away from the rubber tires and went to the zippers, and feels like we have gotten a lot better seed to soil contact with our seeds. We've got better
Okay.
yes.
All right. Thank you, Dennis.
All right.
We're here at the National Farm Machinery Show, and I'm visiting with
Nathan Whitney,
Whitney from where? Nathan?
Bloomingburg, Ohio.
Bloomingburg, Ohio. Okay. And you run our rebounders and our, you run it on both your bean and your corn planter?
Yeah, we run liquid on the corn planter, and we just use the rebounders on the bean planter to get the beans down in the bottom of the trench.
Okay.
And we just run the corn planter, we want it straight out the back and dribble it right on top of the seed.
Okay. All right.
And we've had really good luck with them. We've had it on 4 different planters now.
Really?
Had good luck with everything.
Good.
And
Good.
they've really held up well.
Good. Great. We appreciate that. Thank you. Where are you from, sir, and what's your name?
My name's Tom Hertline from Vandalia, Ohio,
Okay.
right near Dayton.
Okay. And you put a set of rebounders on a Great Plains drill, a solid stand drill.
Right.
several years
Actually,
ago?
I have them on a 6-row white planter and great
Okay,
plant drill.
all right.
But I always had a little more problems with the drill because the press wheel's not that great. It's just a rubber press wheel.
Yeah.
And it'd always leave a few on the top, you know. And
Yeah.
a lot of people say that's normal on a grain drill, but since I put these on, you just hardly ever see one on the top. You know, you go down and dig it, and
they're
they'll
all
cover
in
it
the
up and
bottom.
drag them over. But perfect stands.
Good.
In fact, I take a hula hoop and go out there, and there's 23 to 25 in that hula hoop, no matter where you go.
Really? Neat.
Yeah, it doesn't vary very much.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm here this morning at Farm Machinery Show with Alton Beachy from where?
Plain City, Ohio.
Okay. Would you want to talk a little bit? You've sold a lot of rebounders for us over the years. About how many of you think you sold?
Well, over the last 5 or 6 years, I've probably sold 400 to 500 rows of the rebounders. I'm a Conklin representative. We sell Conklin fertilizers. And then at our Conklin meetings, people ask, well, how do you put the Conklin fertilizers on? So naturally, we refer them to the rebounders. We've had very good success with the rebounders. People just love them. And I myself have used them for probably 12 years myself, and I just love them. And presently we're considering going with the G2 fertilizer applicator to put some in beside the row also. So that's why I stopped here at the booth to investigate and see what it's all about.
Okay. All right. Your name, please.
My name is Hank Hall, farming in North Mississippi Delta, Panola County. Raise a multitude of crops: corn, cotton, beans, wheat, rice, peanuts. Run the rebounders. Very pleased with the rebounders in corn and soybeans. No issues whatsoever. In cotton, we plant 1/2 inch or less on the depth. We run into some issues with the rebounders dragging the seed in the furrows at that real shallow depths. Not a big issue. We just have to take the time to remove them for cotton. Other than that, we're real pleased with them and do an excellent job. No issues whatsoever. And they just work real good. We're real pleased with them.
Okay.
Matt Hawk from Carlinville, Illinois.
Yeah, we're here at the National Farm Machinery Show. And Matt, would you talk a little bit about, you've run our rebounders for several years.
First we had them on a Kinsey 2300 series planter.
Yeah.
Started out with 6 on half the planter at first. We ran Keaton's on the other half. And within 100 to 150 acres, we ended up switching the other 6 out. There was a night and day difference on
Really?
seed spacing.
Really?
Yes.
Neat. Okay.
In my opinion, your guys' firmer runs like an upside down spoon. And it gathers them and puts them in their place. As like the Keaton, it seems like it just runs in the trench and it just runs side by wherever it wants to flow. That's where the seeds are going to go.
Yeah. Okay.
And we ran their liquid system, which.
Okay. Let's go over to the liquid pump system. A
single pump system on our 12-row Kinsey.
Mm-hmm. And then you had to go to
we had to switch to a double pump system. It wasn't because it was by bad design or anything. It was just we were trying to put too much on.
Yeah.
And we ended up having to run a dual pump system.
Yeah.
Which I have.
How many gallons were you putting on, Matt? 12 gallons. Okay. Yeah, you were maxing it out at that point. And it's like running your car down the highway in low gear, wide open. The engine isn't going to last as long as if you put it in drive and run it.
The pump never got to shut off like it was supposed to. Pump up enough pressure and then be able to kick off and like rest and then kick back on when we needed to. We were just burning them up.
So you put on a dual and that helped?
Put on a dual, and after we put on the dual system, we never had another issue.
Okay, all right. We'll go. This is the dual system.